It would have been much easier if we could read animals' minds. Suddenly, a whale swallowed a diver, and then 5 minutes later, everyone was shocked by something that will blow your minds. Miguel loved diving, which was a very good thing since he was a marine biologist. He did a lot of diving for his work, but every time was new and special. There was nothing routine about his work, but there are some experiences he will never forget. When Miguel and his team went to the ocean one day, they had no idea it would be the most memorable and also the most terrifying day of their lives. The boat stopped at a distance from the coral reefs, far enough not to cause any harm. Then Miguel and another diver headed out. They could see a lot of animals because the visibility was very good that day. They had to collect some data and things were going well. They were focused on their work, but at the same time, the divers wouldn't miss a great opportunity to watch the wildlife as they passed by. They were close to some areas known for whale breeding, so it wasn't unusual to see them passing through the deeper waters. These creatures were beautiful, known as the gentle giants of the ocean, and it was always a special sight to see them. But one of them was behaving very strangely that day, and everyone would be shocked. Miguel's diving partner needed to return to the boat with some samples, so Miguel decided to wander around and just look at the ocean for a little while. As an expert, diving alone wasn't a problem, and besides, they weren't at a very great depth, so there wasn't supposed to be any problem. But even the greatest expert in the world can run into problems. The whales passed by, and then something strange happened. Suddenly, one of them broke away and swam directly toward Miguel. It was always a better idea to keep a distance from such a large wild animal. Despite their reputation for being gentle, they were still so huge they could cause harm by accident. The animal could easily injure a person if it collided with them. Generally, staying out of its way was enough to avoid it, but not this time. Every time Miguel changed direction, the humpback whale followed him. He got closer, reached out his hand, and the whale swam directly toward it. He was petting a humpback whale. It was an emotional and beautiful experience. But after a few seconds, the whale became more insistent. It was dangerously strange. She used her fin and tried to push Miguel underneath her. The man tried to get away, but the whale kept coming. Getting close to the humpback whale was dangerous. Its skin was covered with barnacles, and the wetsuit was getting torn by the sharp edges. He tried to push her aside so she would pass by him, but she wasn't interested. It started to get a little scary. Miguel was alone, and he had to stay calm, or else he might not make it out alive. Suddenly, she started pushing Miguel with her nose, and even though he was a strong swimmer, he had no way to stop her. She dragged him to the surface. The team saw him coming from the boat, and there was a humpback whale next to him pushing him forward, but they were too far away to do anything. So what can you do against an animal that can weigh up to 40 tons? In just seconds, things changed, and they saw something shocking happen. Miguel could see the boat and the people, and he knew how close he was to safety, but there was no way to reach it. A human could never outswim a whale. Even staying on the surface wouldn't help much because they breathe air too. They spend a lot of time on the surface of the ocean. They are powerful creatures, and in the water, he had no way to overcome them, and escaping was completely under their control. This was a man who had swum in the ocean before he could walk or talk. He had done hundreds of dives and seen many animals, including many whales. But now, for the first time ever, he was afraid, and even worse, he was afraid of an animal he considered his favorite. The team on the boat was in shock. They couldn't believe what was happening either. A humpback whale wasn't supposed to behave this way. Then they were even more shocked. Suddenly, the whale swallowed the diver and dove underwater. By that time, they had prepared the small boat and rushed to the spot where they last saw Miguel. They didn't know what to do or how to react. There are safety protocols for many different situations at sea involving whales. Keeping a safe distance is usually enough, but of course, all wild animals can be dangerous. However, they couldn't believe that they had just witnessed a man being swallowed alive. After 5 minutes, they saw no signs of Miguel. They had to return to the boat and call the marine rescue teams to help them find him. And on the boat, there was a deadly silence that fell over everyone. No one expected what had happened, and they didn't expect what would happen next either. When they returned to the boat, everyone was shocked to see Miguel on the boat. He was lying on his back, looking tired and exhausted, but he was alive and completely unharmed. Everyone started asking questions all at once, but he raised his hand to stop them, then filled in the blanks. Everything any of them thought, including Miguel, was wrong. The whale was trying to push him toward the boat, and he didn't realize it, so he was resisting. When she opened her mouth, everyone thought she had swallowed him. Maybe she pulled him underwater again because she felt she could swim faster in deeper waters and control this human who wasn't cooperating. Miguel had no idea what was happening, but they were close to the coral reef rocks, and he could have been seriously injured if he tried to resist and was pushed toward the rocks. She had a gentle grip on him, and since he was still wearing his diving gear, he was breathing underwater. He had to struggle to keep his breathing steady, but years of training helped him do that, despite the terror that was rising inside him. When it became clear that she wasn't going to let him go, he decided that the best course of action might be to just relax and let his body go with the current. Fighting would only get him hurt, and if he tried to relax, he might be able to find a chance to break free. He had no idea that he had been fighting the wrong animal all along. She was pushing him forward, then suddenly stopped and tried to hide him under her pectoral fin. That was when he finally realized what was happening. From beside the rocks, one of the largest tiger sharks the diver had ever seen emerged. It was massive. Seeing a tiger shark of that size alone could mean big trouble. Miguel loved sharks and hated the stereotypes that had been created about them. But there is a reason why people are afraid of tiger sharks. They are known for being aggressive, and this shark seemed like it was looking for a fight. It kept circling the humpback whale, but its focus seemed to be on it, and the human the whale was protecting. So Miguel remained still. Had this shark been stalking him for longer than he realized? The humpback whale was trying to protect him, and Miguel was doing everything to make it harder for her. All she wanted was to get the human out of the area and back to his boat before he was attacked. It was amazing, but not entirely surprising. Whales are known to protect other sea creatures. There have been many sightings of whales providing shelter for marine creatures. And whales don't often interact with humans this way, but it made sense. They're extremely intelligent creatures. The shark seemed to understand that it couldn't reach the human except through the whale, so it turned and swam away. But Miguel's rescuer wasn't going to take any chances. Once it was safe, she put him back on her nose and pushed him all the way to the boat. He patted her head and thanked her as soon as he got out of the water. Then she left. It was amazing that a wild animal had such a strong drive to protect a complete stranger. Everyone was safe and they decided to end the day and go home. But it was definitely a day they would never forget. If you like the story, then the next video showing on your screen will definitely move you as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Big kiss, and see you next time.